Welcome, everybody, to the loving kindness meditation for Wednesday. My name is Alex, and it's wonderful to be coming to you here from the Dharma Bum Temple, North County location, also known as my condo. Um, I knew I was going to be able to do these classes from home sooner or later. I'm glad that it's sooner. But anyway, it doesn't matter whether I travel down to San Diego or do it here, I still do it. And I hope you guys are doing well. And I hope everything is okay with you. Um, so, as always, you know what I'm going to ask you. If you are new to the Dharma Bum Temple online class or new to the Wednesday online class, please say hi and where you're from. There's a little chat box there where you're looking, and just type whatever you want in there. And I would love to hear from you. Again, I'm looking into a camera. It's hard to feel engaged sometime. Last week we had this great class. We had all these great questions, and we had a nice meditation and all these types of things. So please say hello. I would love to hear from you. If you're not new, if you've been here for a while, say hello anyway. I would love to hear from you. So I hope, again, everything is going well for you. Um, you know, doing this class from home, we just kind of roll with the punches, and that's fine. I'm happy to do it from here. I even put up a nice little poster behind me. It's not a poster. It's actually it's like a little tapestry or whatever you call it. It's cloth, whatever it is. And I decided to kind of hang it up here. I just moved in here not too long ago. Actually, it's been like 2 months, so it's, long enough. Um, and so I haven't really set up everything quite yet. My living room is still empty, so that's okay. I like it, minimalist. So let's see here. Fresca. Oh my God, I would kill for a fresca. Metaphorically kill for a fresca, not actually kill for a fresca. I love fresca. Let's see. Hello to Eric, and hi to Jeremy, and hi to Travis, who's new to this location. Well, welcome, Travis, new person. Never heard of you. Well, welcome to the Dharma Bum Temple. I hope everything is well with you. Let's see. Hello, Jean, and the cats, Carly and Bjorn. Hi, Jennifer, and hello, Meatball. Wonderful to have all of you here. Oh my God, this is so exciting. All right. So, for the people who are new, who may have not said anything, Tamara, I know you're there. Hi, Tamara. What we're going to do here in this class is we're going to have this short introduction, and then, have our meditation on loving kindness. And, it'll be about 25 to 30 minutes long, probably somewhere in the middle. And if you have any concerns about what to do, don't worry. This is a guided meditation. So I will be guiding it, and so you don't have to worry about what to do, because I will be letting you know through some gentle guiding. I didn't. Oh, hi, Jesse. Wonderful to have you here. Didn't hear that anybody was new, but that's okay. Maybe you are. And maybe you are new, but you're watching later and you're not watching live, and that's okay too. Welcome to you. If you're new and you're watching later, wonderful to have you. And let's get on and let's do this kind of, I don't know. I was thinking that, what do I have to share at the beginning of today's class? And I don't know if I have anything much to share. There's a lot's been going on. What's been going on in the news, and it was pretty crazy there for a while, and hopefully it's going to calm down a little bit here. So let's hope that's the case. All right. But I still have my bowl, and I have a bowl and bell here. So, I meditate here. So it's all good. All right, here we go. Any questions before we start? Nope. Good. All right. So let's just get into your seated position, if you could, please. All right. Let's do this, shall we? So just allow your eyes to close. And when we sit like a Buddha. And you can even imagine yourself sitting underneath the Bodhi tree of enlightenment, ready for the task at hand. Or you can make up your own tree of enlightenment. Every Buddha has their own tree of enlightenment. So it could be the oak tree of enlightenment, the maple tree of enlightenment, the sequoia of enlightenment, the redwood of enlightenment. And you can picture yourself sitting underneath any of those trees, just ready for the task at hand. And so now at first, let's just pay a gentle attention to the breath, focusing on the breath all the way in and all the way out. Not forcing the breath, letting the breath be quite easy and quite natural. And just letting the words you hear from me just kind of wash over you. Not stressing about whatever it is that I'm saying, not stressing about what you have going on right now, not stressing about anything. Just being right here and right now and focused on this wonderful practice of loving kindness, which will start in just a minute, as soon as we get nice and connected to the breath. So just for the next few moments, just rest as gently as you can in the sensations of the breath. To begin our formal meditation on metta, on loving kindness, this unconditional friendliness and goodwill, we're going to start with our benefactor. And again, a benefactor is anyone who has shown us great love and great kindness. Someone it's really easy to have these feelings for, where it's no struggle. It's no struggle to, there's no tension. There's no question about what this person has meant to you and the love and the kindness that they've shown you that you're so grateful for. And when you think of this person, your heart just gets bigger, warmer, and you smile maybe. And so all we're going to do is just radiate loving kindness to this person or these people. That could be more than one. In whatever way you understand that word radiate. So I like to picture a beam of loving kindness going from my heart to theirs. And this beam of loving kindness is warm and it's gently vibrating. And it's a nice bright color. But you can do it however you want to radiate. It's all up to you. It's all fine. Wishing in gladness and in safety, may you be at ease. May you be happy. And so for the next few moments, we'll do this practice for our benefactors. Now, you can shift your focus just a little bit from when you were doing loving kindness for your benefactor to now you can imagine your benefactor doing this practice for you. They did these nice and kind and wonderful things for you for a reason, because they care about you. They love you. And so you can imagine them radiating a beam of loving kindness, or just radiating loving kindness from their heart to yours, or however you want them to radiate loving kindness for you. Your only job, the only thing you have to do is receive. Receive with gratitude. Receive with kindness. Receive with compassion, with empathy. Receive this loving kindness into your heart as much as you can. If there's any resistance, any tightening of your own heart, any tension, you can just breathe into that. And see if you can soften just a little bit. If you can, fine. If you can't, that's fine. Just concentrate on receiving this loving kindness from your benefactor. And so we'll do this for the next few moments. And now, probably the most important part of this meditation is having the ability to have loving kindness for ourselves. This is the most important because if we can have this experience for ourselves, if we can know what it really feels like, this feeling of loving kindness in our own heart, we would never harm anybody in any situation ever. And even though I know it's maybe difficult for some, it's the most important thing you can do in this practice is to have loving kindness for yourself because it spills out and it makes having loving kindness for others just so much easier. So just call to mind your own wish to be happy, your own wish to be healthy, free from pain, and able to be at peace and live at ease in this world. And to do loving kindness for yourself, you can either kind of direct that beam of loving kindness onto itself, or you can just repeat phrases. Phrases like, may I be happy. May I be safe from inner and outer danger. May I be well in body and mind. May I be at peace and live at ease in this world. Very gently, you say this into your own heart. And just listen for the response. And just keep repeating over and over. So we'll do this for the next few moments. And finally, we can explore the limitless quality of the heart by doing this practice for all beings in all directions. May all beings be happy. May all beings, wherever they may be, upwards to the sky and downwards to the depths, and all around, may all beings be at ease. So just extend your heart of loving kindness, unconditional friendliness, and goodwill, this wonderful word, metta. Metta for all beings in all directions. Just radiate as much as you can, as far as you can. And we'll end our practice with that. And so just open your eyes when you're ready. Let's just take the next moment or two out in silence as you stretch your arms and you stretch your legs. While still retaining that mindfulness of loving kindness and unconditional friendliness and goodwill about you. If you have any questions, this is a great time to think of a question and type it in the chat box and we'll talk about it. And let's give it like maybe 30 more seconds. That was very nice for me. I hope that was a beneficial meditation for you as well. You know, sometimes I kind of take for granted because no one says that they're new, and so I'm just assuming that it's just the regulars who are here, and so that's, you know, I kind of go back and forth again. Like I always say, like, well, how do I lead it this time? And you know, so even though I know there are a lot of regulars here, and pretty much are all regulars who are watching this live. People who aren't watching this live may not be the case. They might be brand new, never, never don't know anything about meditation, don't know anything about Buddhism or anything like that. And so I was kind of thinking about that a little bit beforehand. And I always wonder because, you know, I know how many people are watching now, but that number doesn't equal the number of views uh, later, like a week from now, which is there's a lot more, you know. So I'm curious to understand those numbers. I know, you know, a lot of people just watch later, and that's fine. They can do that, and that's one of the benefits of doing this. They can just watch, you know, at their own convenience. So that's really good. So maybe I should be taking that into account more. But okay, I don't know if I had anything specifically that I necessarily wanted to kind of share with you guys, except that, you know, uh, last week, and you know, I was talking about Sariputra and Moggallana and all of these wonderful monks who had their own lives, their own rich and interesting lives on their own, you know, as monks, as enlightened beings, because, you know, for the most part, with the exception of Ananda, they were all fully enlightened beings when we got to know them. You know, Sariputra and Moggallana, the Buddha's two disciples, who came to him shortly after the Buddha became enlightened, they entered you know, they were fully enlightened within. I think Moggallana was like a week, and Sariputra was 2 weeks, and because Sariputra needed a little bit more time, because, you know, the training that he was going to be involved in required it. I don't remember exactly the reason for that. But so that was really interesting. And the other thing is, you know, there's a book that's in the temple, and a book that I have that I've read all of the stories of the enlightened monks, and it's just called "The Stories of the Buddha's Greatest Disciples," and they were all different, and, you know, some were sterner than others. Some lived in seclusion more than others, and, you know, regardless of what their temperaments were or what their circumstances were, you know, they were all imbued with this wonderful loving kindness. Sariputra, Ananda, especially, um, they were, you know, and Sariputra was a trainer. You know, Sariputra, you know, his responsibility was to train the new monks to take the undisciplined, monks and kind of teach them perfect conduct. And he was like a mother to them. He was like a mother. And so he took them all the way to the first stage of enlightenment. And to do that, you have to have a lot of patience and you have to have a lot of loving kindness. And so Sariputra was really had a lot of that. And then he handed it off to, once they reached this first stage of enlightenment, once they mastered perfect conduct and they reached this stream entry, they were handed off to Moggallana, who was really a disciplinarian. I mean, not in a mean way, of course. Everything is done with loving kindness, but he took them all the way to full, arhantship or full enlightenment. And he was more like a nurse, they said. So Sariputra was a mother, and Moggallana was like a nurse. And so he trained. That's how all these monks were trained. And until such time where they kind of split it out a little bit. And regardless of all of these monks, they were all very kind and very loving people. And I mean, you would have to be if you're an enlightened being, a fully enlightened being, regardless of whatever your individual temperament might be. So, I think the only person who wasn't fully enlightened of the Buddha's greatest disciples was Ananda. And he was kind of stuck, not really stuck. He was just at this stream entry place for just the longest time until after the Buddha died, actually. He was, they kind of teased him a little bit at the end. They said, you're still just a learner. And can you imagine calling him that? You're just a learner. You're just a learner because, all these other, thousands and tens of thousands of monks have reached full arhantship, and you're still at this, kind of lower level of enlightenment. And, there was a reason for that. He was universally beloved. Ananda was. And I can get into the story of Ananda. I could probably even just do it next week, which it's a wonderful story. But one of the things about him was, being the attendant of the Buddha is not easy by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, he had to attend to his like a more physical kind of needs about robes, about bathing, about because he had to set out all the water and he had to deal with all the food and he had to deal with all these other types of things. He had to sweep out his hut and he had to make sure everything was nice for him and really attend to him in that way. And he also had to deal with the people because you don't just go talk to the Buddha, right? And most of the time they were all too nervous to do that anyway. So they would always talk to Ananda first. So Ananda would always talk to them first. Ananda was universally beloved. He was probably the only person, the only monk, only person in all of the Buddha's posse, I guess you could say, among the Buddha's disciples who had no enemies whatsoever. He had none. Even the Buddha had an enemy, Devadatta, his cousin, his dastardly cousin, who couldn't, so jealous of him and couldn't stand him, but not Ananda. Ananda had zero enemies whatsoever. And, the people, the regular folks, the lay people came to absolutely adore him because they always knew that they could go to him for a kind word. They always knew that the loving kindness that Ananda showed absolutely, positively, each and every person was such that they never forgot him. And he was universally, like I said, universally beloved. And so this was really, really important if you're going to be the Buddha's attendant, if you're going to handle the Buddha's clerical affairs as well, which is what he did, And so I think about that a lot. I think about, all the people who come to see the Buddha because they're distraught and they're distracted, and maybe they have a loved one die, or maybe there's a war, or maybe there's a famine somewhere, or maybe there's, some, some wrong that has happened to them, or maybe they're just suffering because they're suffering, and they come to Ananda first, and he can talk to them. And he did that a lot. He the Buddha trusted Ananda to speak with and teach many of the lay people. Um, so in the Buddhist canon, in the Theravada canon, um, so often you don't really hear about any of the other disciples or attendants of the Buddha. You really just hear about Ananda, and he was only the Buddha's attendant for the last 24 years of his teaching career, his teaching cycle, or the first 21 years. There were various other people, but you don't really hear about them. You only hear about Ananda. So skilled was he. And a lot of times, even though the people who may have been present at this particular story was some other Buddha's attendant, they just substituted Ananda in anyway when it actually came to writing the story, because they loved Ananda, and he was incredibly wise, and he was incredibly smart. He memorized the entirety of the Dharma, all of the Buddha's teachings he memorized. And so when they came, and I'll get this to, and I'll get this I'll tell this like next week, but when it came to remembering all the Dharma that the Buddha proclaimed, they had to know where it happened, where did this Dharma talk happen, who was there, and what was said, and what was their reaction. And he was so possessed of this wonderful capacity for memory that he easily remembered all of this stuff. And so he recited that back to the monks and said, "This is the Buddha's Dharma." But that's a little teaser of the Ananda story. I'll get into it more later. There's really a lot more to tell, and but of all the Buddha's monks, he probably was the most beloved, and all the Buddha's monks were just filled with loving kindness. All of them. All of them. There wasn't one that wasn't, because you have to be. Your heart has to be that open if you're going to be an enlightened being. So want to talk a little bit about that and give you a little preview of that story. So I don't see any questions. No questions, no comments. I'm happy to take any questions or comments, anything that you want to say, anything that you want to ask. I'll wait just a minute or two. Then I can talk more about Ananda, which I'll probably repeat like tomorrow in the story, but that's okay. There's a lot of times in these stories, they're not stories that necessarily have a beginning and an end. They're just a collection of snippets about their life, and which is actually true for all of the monks. And thank you, Jean, for saying that. I really love that you said that. It really helps. It really makes me feel good, and and it's something that I just love to do. One of so Bhavani was saying it's difficult to practice loving kindness and protect myself from harmful beings, and how to go about doing that. So Bhavani, the most important person that you could ever have loving kindness for is yourself. That is the most important kind of loving kindness, because if you have loving kindness for yourself, a lot of times when we're being harmed in some way, whether verbally, physically, emotionally, sexually, all of those different types of way that we can be harmed, we hear about loving kindness, we automatically go to loving kindness for this person who's harming us, or these people who are harming us. And that's not where the loving kindness needs to be at all. The loving kindness needs to be with you, so you can do the right thing for yourself to somehow get away from this, to extricate yourself, to remove yourself from this harm that's being uh, um, perpetrated on you. And I don't know, what the exact specifics are, but I want to put that out there, that loving kindness doesn't mean that you're just like a doormat, that you just sit there and take it and just try to realize with awareness that they're just doing it because they're suffering. But you don't have to take it. That's not the rule, and so, whatever you have to do to remove yourself from that, or push back, or and again, I don't know what your situation is, and so so just kind of take that, and um, understand that. And the loving kindness doesn't have to be for these people who are harming you. It has to be for you. Okay, it has to be for you, and so you can have the loving kindness you need for yourself to do what you need to do, right? To help yourself, to be an advocate for yourself. Okay. Um, Vani, thank you so much. I hope that helped at least a little bit. And let's go to the next question here. So as Eric says, seems like enlightenment seemed more achievable or common in the stories. These days, even stream entry sounds almost unachievable. That's really interesting that you say that, because, again, this is during the Buddha's time, and, they had the Buddha himself as a teacher. And, the other thing to really understand about these are just stories. Do these really happen exactly the way that they happen? Probably not. We don't know for sure, because we weren't there. You and I weren't there. But all these, again, but I also think a lot of these stories are meant to encourage us. They're there for a purpose. They're really meant to encourage us, because it did happen for a lot of people, I'm sure, and it has happened for a lot of people. And a lot of the problem is, I don't want to get never mind. I don't want to show what I think the problem is, but I think that it does seem a lot. It did seem a lot more achievable then, because everyone and their mother seemed to be enlightened, and again, that maybe that was just because the Buddha was there. I'm not terribly sure, but I do. One of the things that is so um, helpful about these stories is that is a promise that the Buddha made, and the Buddha said that you can do it too. You can do it. It can be done. As hard as it may seem, it can be done. And you can do it in this lifetime. Absolutely in this lifetime. And there are people who have done it. There are plenty of people who have done it. And maybe it's less because the Buddha has been, this 2,500 years removed from us. I'm not terribly sure, honestly, but maybe that's the reason. And I don't necessarily think it's because of the world that we live in today, with all the, internet and hatred, and a lot of this stuff that we're seeing. Because I think this is I think a lot of it is just cyclical. We're always going to see it, to some degree. Yeah, but it can be frustrating, but the thing about that, Eric, is also that, and Bhavani, I'll kind of get back to you in just a second, is that don't let this get you down, because again, if you know the story of the Buddha's enlightenment, the biggest weapon that Mara had to delay the Buddha's enlightenment was this idea of doubt in the Buddha, the Dharma, a doubt in the Dharma, the doubt that he could actually become an enlightened being, and the doubt that we face when we don't think that the taking refuge in the Buddha and the Dharma and the Sangha, that was for back then. People got enlightened back then, not now. That's the kind of doubt that can creep up into our thinking, and so we need to really be aware of that. And I just think it's a I need to for me, I just need to be aware of that, and that a lot of maybe that's just doubt. Maybe that's just doubt because it's hard. It is hard. If it was easy, everyone would do it, right? Um, um, and so, Bhavani, um, to your question about wanting to become like Sariputta, Moggallana, Ananda, what you should do for that is the same thing that everybody should do for that, is to take refuge in the Buddha and take refuge in the Dharma and take refuge in the Sangha, to follow the precepts of non-harming that we take every day, um, and to do your best. And a lot of times when we're first starting out, we don't have and we don't when it comes to loving kindness or any part of our practice, um, we just need to do our best. Don't worry about perfection. You're not going to be. No one's going to be perfect, and don't get paralyzed, by, thinking that, oh, I don't know exactly what to do. Just do something. Do what's best that you think you know how to do. That's the kindest and most unharmful, not a harmful way to go about something. Um, and if you do those things and you meditate and you do all the things that we're asking you to do, life eventually gets better. It eventually gets better. And that's why it's good to meditate every day. That's why it's good to practice these principles every day. You know, um, so I hope that helps. So we got a few minutes left. I wish you Nibbana as well. Thank you, Bhavani. So what else is going on with you guys? What's happening? What's new? Everything all right? Not all right? Anything difficult with this particular meditation tonight? Or wonderful about this particular meditation tonight? Do you like my picture? Or my tapestry, I guess? I don't even know what it is. Thank you, Gene. I like it. I'll try to fix the lighting. Boy, it's really bright up there. We'll do that next week. It's a little too bright. I love doing this. I love just kind of sitting inside my place and kind of doing this here, and I get to see the live chat. It's a lot closer, and not a good questions. Um, yeah, I think after a week of politics, it's not even been a week. It's been like how many years of politics? I mean, I'm exhausted too. Um, a group hug, I like that. Nice. Yes, it does feel good just to rest in metta, doesn't it? Okay. So if there's nothing else, that's okay. We can end for today, or tonight. Guys, it was wonderful. I love being able to do it from here. It's fantastic. Makes me happy. Actually, it makes me equally happy doing it from the temple, but it makes me happy doing it from here because I don't have to drive. And uh, uh, let's join our palms together at our hearts if we can. And may the benefits of this meditation, this discussion, be received by all beings in all directions. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings be at peace. May all beings be joyful and at ease. May all beings be happy. May all beings be loved and seen for the beautiful, radiant beings that they are, that you are. Thank you for coming. Thank you, guys. It was wonderful to be here with you. And we'll see you next week. All right. Bye now.